And I think you have to accept it. And good evening.
Yes,
Good evening, Irene.
everybody.
Good evening, everybody. Nice to be here with you, Irene, and with all of you that that hear us. We are at the PSYCH-K, Discover PSYCH-K webinar, and we will talk about it and discover together what is this PSYCH-K about and how can it improve our life. It will take about 1 hour or maybe 80 minutes, but we will see how we go on. And I want to say some things about myself, so you can know to whom you are listening. So my name is Oana Oșan. I'm from Romania. I'm also a PSYCH-K facilitator. And like in my past, I've been a trainer for about 15 years. And now in this moment, I facilitate PSYCH-K sessions and I am a host at Casa din Pământ. And here with me is my instructor and certified instructor, PSYCH-K certified instructor, Irene Menis. And I will let her to introduce herself. Hello, Irene.
Hello, Anna. Thank you for arranging this webinar, and thanks to everybody who is listening in. I am Irene, as Oana said, I'm Irene Menis. I am Italian, and I am a PSYCH-K certified instructor since almost 10 years now. And before being an instructor, I've been working in space exploration field for almost 12 years because I got a degree in physics and I enjoyed very much that first part of my life. Then as happens in many lives, something weird or traumatic occurred, and that triggered a lot of transformation in me, and I start to look beyond what science can say. There is a lot of that, and so a beautiful personal and spiritual journey started, and I landed on the book of Bruce Lipton, The Biology of Belief. I guess some of you might have heard or read it, and
also me.
Definitely the two of us. And as a physicist, I was very interested in biology. So when I saw he was a biologist, I said, well, there must be something good for me here. And there was, in fact, much, much more than I could have thought in that book, which is basically the biological foundation of PSYCH-K, of why we have beliefs, why beliefs are so important, and why subconscious mind is so much affecting our life. So at the end of the book, Bruce mentioned the PSYCH-K as his preferred approach to change the beliefs. And so I definitely looked around me and figured out the first workshop, and I jumped there and learned. And since then, it was 2008, my life definitely shifted. And well, first of all, I had to do a lot with myself to return in balance. And then it was really a must to quit my job in space exploration and start sharing these beautiful processes, mindset, and lifestyle in the end with somebody else. And so I got certified, and now I enjoy my life teaching all over the world and meeting beautiful people who are committed to have and create a better life through PSYCH-K and many other things that they already know.
And you are a very good teacher.
Thank you. We are all good teachers.
Okay, Irene. Nice to hear so many things about you. And also for me, it was a journey and the moment when I started with PSYCH-K when I had some, let's say, hard parts in my life, and PSYCH-K helped me to overpass them. So where should we start? So what do you say about
What do you say?
discovering?
Well, let's talk and yeah, discover PSYCH-K and also discover this group of people who is listening in. I would say that the best way to use this time is yeah, sure, for me to give you some information, also based on the requests that we received, and then maybe go into a Q&A, question and answer moment, so that we can be more interactive. But maybe at the beginning the two of us will be chatting a bit around PSYCH-K. And yeah, as you said, Oana, PSYCH-K is very, very useful when we have some difficult time, and it saved me so many times. And it's also very, very useful when we just have our time, and life unfolds as usual, and we just want to tap into our best and highest potential to just express who we are without fears, without being afraid of being who we are. So PSYCH-K is really a set of processes that allows us to be the best we can be. By doing what? Basically by accessing our full potential. And as somebody asked, what is the meaning of PSYCH-K? What is the background of PSYCH-K? PSYCH-K is two pieces of two small words. Psych is about the mind, and K is about the key. So the goal of PSYCH-K is for each who wants to learn it, to have the key to access the full potential of our mind. And when Rob Williams, the originator of PSYCH-K, offered PSYCH-K to the world, he already knew modalities that at that time, end of 80s, were really the top, super top of the best of what a coach or a psychotherapist could use, like hypnotherapy, like NLP, like Reiki, like emotional kinesiology. Rob is also a great shaman. He learned in many schools of native Indians and Hawaiian shamans. So he had a lot of knowledges, he had a lot of wisdom, and out of this he originated PSYCH-K. And it was not an intellectual effort, it was really like a download, it was really like an intuition. It was more than just creating with the conscious mind. Mm-hmm. And when he received PSYCH-K, he started to using it first of all with himself, then with the clients, and then he decides really to teach it, and then to create a group of instructors. Today there are almost 35 instructors in the world, and PSYCH-K is taught almost everywhere in the world. And it's so beautiful because the goal of PSYCH-K is really for all of the people who attend the workshop. We call us facilitators, to be able to be independent in using our mind. And I am a physicist, I'm sorry for this, but I was really used to consider just my conscious mind, just my logical thinking, my analytical approach. And but this is just the 5%. This is the 5% that we are taught to use in school. We are very much trained in using this 5%. But the 95%, that is the subconscious mind, is very relevant. And as Bruce says, as Rob Williams says, if we are not able to wittingly use this 95%, it will use us, which means we are not in power of our life. And the beauty of PSYCH-K is really that we can create a dialogue between these two, the 5% conscious and the 95%, so that they can align to one another, so that they can go in the same direction. Because the majority of our conflicts, if not all our conflicts in life, emotional, professional, personal, in relationships, in financial arena, and so on, all our conflicts, all our regrets, all our disappointments originate from this misalignment between our conscious mind, which is what we know we want, our subconscious mind, which is the autopilot. He does it. And what in PSYCH-K, what we call our superconscious mind, which is the holder, the keeper of our soul purpose. So it's our soul, it's our inner wisdom. And PSYCH-K is really something that allows us to align all these three. So to teach to our subconscious mind, 95%, to do what our conscious mind recognizes to be useful and what is in line with our soul purpose. So it's really an alignment among these three parties who we all have.
Yeah. And what I want to, like somehow to summarize, and what I believe it's very powerful, and I see it is very powerful, is the thing that after you learn how to use it, you can do it by yourself. And you can use it today or tomorrow, or 3 times today, or 3 times tomorrow, or 10 times every time you need. So it's not like you're dependent on somebody. So you learn it and then you use it wherever, and you can also do it with others.
Exactly.
After training, you can do this.
Exactly. The beauty, the big step forward that I saw in PSYCH-K is really what you said, is that it's a birthright of everyone to have access of our full potential. When we were born, we all had access to our full potential, our full brain. If you see a kid, you see the power of a kid. The power is really the perception, the knowledge, not just the perception, the knowledge that we have infinite possibility, that everything is possible. And little by little, through education, through culture, through family, through a number of very useful things for us to be adequate to the environment, we reduce this potential. It shrinks, and that's a pity. So the beauty of PSYCH-K is really to allow us to access back to this full potential. And once you have learned it, you can do it every day or every 10 days. Never mind, it's not mandatory and it doesn't give any addiction. But if you want to feel better, perform better, be better, just we do a balance. This is what we say in PSYCH-K. And if we want to see it from a neurological perspective, because as I said, I'm sorry, I'm a physicist, so there is also this background which is very useful for some people, including me, because it's very useful to see things from different perspectives. So we can see PSYCH-K, as I said before, as a spiritual process to align our conscious and subconscious mind, and we can see PSYCH-K also from this perspective of the neurology, right? So our brain is well known, and there is so much not known yet. But what we know is that we as human beings, we have this frontal cortex sitting here, and this is where the logical thinking occurs. It's just a human being, the human species, who has this frontal cortex. But all the rest of our brain is still like an animal. It's like an automatic. It's like survival mode. It's like do the easiest thing, the less dangerous, and the comfort zone. So the beauty of being human is that we have this force, but we want to make sure that it doesn't conflict with all the rest. But we want to use this prefrontal cortex, the conscious mind, in order to educate and expand the subconscious mind. And what happens at the level of the brain when we do one of the PSYCH-K processes, these balances, is actually that we rewire the brain. We create new brain circuits in order to implement a different behavior, a different perception, a different emotion with respect to what's happening outside. But outside is always mediated, is always filtered by our brain. And it's true, on one hand, we have little power on what is happening outside, but we have full power on what is happening inside. Full power. And the beauty of PSYCH-K, I just want to add this. I know you have a question.
No, it's okay. Continue. I lost you, Irene.
Time for a question. I've lost the thread.
I lost the 1 minute, I think. If you can.
The connection. Yeah. There was a connection drop, but and I've lost my thread. So if there was a question, just go for the question.
No, it wasn't a question. I wanted only to put the point there about the rewiring of our brain, and that we work in this whole brain, and then we bring this new information inside, and then we put it in this material world. We are just materializing it. Yeah,
exactly. And now I remembered what I wanted to say.
Okay, super.
Super. Done it. It seems a bit abstract for now, but maybe we will give some examples in a moment. But before doing that, I want to share with you two more things. When we speak about subconscious mind, we speak about our intelligence, the intelligence within us that rules the body, the chemicals in our body. And all this is managed through habits, to schemes, it has to be very, very fast. So the subconscious mind is really an autopilot, is really a battler. It always does the same things. And this is beautiful because we can teach it to do it differently, and it will last forever. Yeah. So basically the subconscious mind has two ways to learn another habit. The first one we know it very, 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 very well, because school works like this, which is repeat until you make it. Okay, we have learned most of the things we know like this: writing, reading, doing numbers, driving the car, play guitar. I mean, everything we do in a natural way we have learned it by repeating it many times. Even walking, it seems obvious, but a kid takes 2 years to gain this habit. So repeating is very time consuming. It doesn't always work, because if you don't like what you are repeating, no way to get it. I'm sure that each of us speaking and listening could give some examples of things that we are not able to learn, no matter what. And there is another way by which the subconscious mind can make a shift. And this is the one we trigger with PSYCH-K, because it lasts a few minutes or a few seconds. And it's again a natural way of learning. Natural means provided by nature. And it is what happens when we have a trauma. You know, for instance, I guess everybody, when we were kids, we got burnt with a candle, with a fire, with a stove. I mean, we got burnt. How many times did we have to repeat the experience of touching a flame before learning that it was dangerous? I guess one was enough for most of us, right? And why so? Why, in that case, one repetition was enough rather than thousands? Because our biology has a survival system. So if we have two options, either you learn or you die or you burn, our biology focuses all its energy and power in order to learn, because learning or dying. So we must have this fast way of learning, and it's beautiful that we all have it, because what we do with PSYCH-K, what we have learned to do with this methodology is actually to trigger that fast learning process in a very gentle, ecological, smooth, and joyful way. So without burning the fingers, and with the certainty that we are learning only what is safe and appropriate for us, which means because learning in that way is learning forever. I mean, none of us at 20, 30, 40 years old had to go back and touch the flame because, you know, I was not really sure if it burns or not. So with PSYCH-K, we use that process, but we trigger it in a very gentle way and on the goal that we choose. It can be about ourselves, our self-esteem, our relationships, our emotional arena, our professional performance, our sport performance, our health, our wealth, and or our pain, our fears, our grief. There is so much in life that is there to teach us how to tap from our potential. Every time we feel sad, exhausted, disappointed, angry, it's really because the life is trying to teach us something by attracting our attention. And with PSYCH-K, we can really learn this lesson very fast and move forward.
Yep. I confirm from my experience, yeah, from working with myself and also with others.
I would say everything in my life changed after I took the basic workshop of PSYCH-K. Not the day after, I tell you. It's not a magic wand. It's a process that speeds up our journey in life and makes it wonderful, funny. And I've changed my job. I've changed the relationships with my family members. I've changed the way I live, the place I live, the relationship with my partner, my financial status, my freedom. But you know, most of all, the huge change is the confidence, the self-confidence. Now I know that whatever happens, I will make it. Like, I just need to sit and do some balances. Maybe it will take me half an hour, maybe 1 hour, maybe 1 day, maybe 1 week, but it will not take me the whole life.
Yeah.
And when I took the basic workshop, I had a really, what I perceived as a traumatic experience, because I had a miscarriage, and there was a lot of attachment to that experience. And attachment is one of our worst enemies. So expectations, attachments are really hard to let go if we don't have the tools to do it. And it took me 2 years after this experience just to start doing something to heal myself. So I was really in a sort of depression. But when I encountered PSYCH-K and I went home after the 3 days basic workshop, I sat on my couch and I did my first balance all by myself. And in that moment, I realized that I made a shift that had never happened before in my life. It was a jump, a leap. It was a leap of consciousness. And I had a real experience of what changes means, of what change means. All the things that I had experienced before that were just mild shifts compared to that. And so since that day, I've never stopped to use PSYCH-K. As you said, sometimes I do 10 balances per day, sometimes 10 days without balances. I mean, it doesn't give any addiction, but it's really, it makes life pleasant and light and smooth.
Yeah, and it's a tool that you have it with you all the time, so you can use it at home, you can use it in the plane, you can use it in the forest, maybe. Yeah, so it's not place dependent.
Exactly. And you don't have to carry a big luggage with the tools to do it. You just need your hand and your body and yourself. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so true. And well, some people asked, how does it work? Which is, of course, a legitimate question, and I will try to give you an answer. Not in details, because it's easy. It's okay, it's very simple, but in order to learn it, you have to really take a 3-day workshop, not less than that. we can't make it smaller or shorter. But the idea is that we need, in order to do PSYCH-K, we need 2 tools. One, to read in the subconscious mind what is in and what is not in. And the second one is in order to write, which means to change in our subconscious mind what we need to feel better. So the process of PSYCH-K is really, in a nutshell, is answering the question, what do you want? We don't care why we are not happy. We don't need to dig into the why and when and how it happened that I am scared of driving in the motorway. We don't care. What do you want? I want to feel safe when I drive in the motorway. Okay, that's enough. Okay? And once we know what we want, we can teach it to the subconscious mind using these writing processes in order to create into our brain the neurological connections that allow to feel safe while driving in the motorway. So I gave you an example which is very, very specific because it is an example, but we can really use PSYCH-K with everything because everything is just our perception. It's not real. And it might be weird for someone to hear this. It was for me 15 years old when I was living another life. But it's really all perception. The same experience might be beautiful, exciting for one person and might be scary for another one. You know, like bungee jumping, just to give an example. So the point is really to create us in order that we have the best experience ever, because we deserve it. We are here to be happy, to enjoy life, to enjoy this beauty of the creation of nature, of human beings around us. And if we are not able to create the beauty within ourselves, we will not be able to see it outside. We will see danger, we will see fear, we will see dark, and there is light for everyone who has eyes to see it. So let's create these eyes within ourselves. It's in our power. It's in our power.
Exactly. Yeah, it's so nice how you explained it, because if it's like our choice, which life we want to create and in Romanian it is called a hrăni. Ce viață vrei să-ți hrănești? So what do you want to feed? What life do you want to feed? The life that you see only trouble and negativeness and this stuff, or you want to feed and to have a life and to create a life that you like and you enjoy and you feel it, you live it with joy. Yeah, thank you, Irene. And I like the thing that you say that with PSYCH-K we are training what we want, training ourselves about what we want. Shortly.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, we have. You wanted to say something?
Yes, please go on. If there are questions, I'm happy to interact and answer.
So we have here a comment from Christina. And she says, good evening, I'm familiar with Lipton's work and intend to register to the workshop. I would like to understand more how the process is meant to underwrite beliefs and how exactly is this happening. Maybe you could do a demo by the end of this webinar. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Christina. I know you are curious. I was curious as you are today. And I'm not going to give you a demonstration because it is not just a process. It's not just a procedure. There is something more. So I'm happy that you are curious, and I'm happy that we have a gift for you. And by the end of this webinar, Oana will tell you more. But imagine, just to fulfill a bit, to give you a piece of an answer to this. Imagine if you go to the doctor. I don't know if you are used to go to the doctor. Sometimes it happens, sometimes we have to. But if I go to the doctor, I trust the process. I know he's a doctor. I know he knows what to do. And
Irene, we can.
I'm not going to that. What I want is result.
Can you repeat a little bit?
Hello.
It was a signal.
When did you lose me?
When you said when you go to a doctor, you trust, and then.
Okay, you trust the process because you go in order to get a result. You don't ask him to demonstrate that he is able to provide the result. You go in order to get the result. And this is what we do with all the methodologies, including PSYCH-K. So there is a process, and the process works. It contains several elements, as I mentioned already, like reading what is in the subconscious mind, writing what you want, aligning with the soul purpose, and the last piece of the process is celebrating. Because really celebration is the glue of our life. Emotions are the glue of our life. And the emotion that we choose in PSYCH-K as a glue is really celebrating. Well, I want to give you one more concept around PSYCH-K. When I said life is all about perceptions and brain is all about associations. So when we have an experience, let's say a traumatic experience in our life, a car accident, okay, I have a car accident. And what the subconscious mind records are the data of the five senses: view, the color of the crash, the car against which I crashed, blue; auditory, the music in the radio; smell, the smell of the, we call it arbre magique. I don't know if you have it or with the same name. The smell of the car. The taste, so maybe the taste of the candy in my mouth. What's the last? The feel. It was a summer day. It was extremely hot. So all this data, and it attaches an emotional label like fear of dying. Okay, this information, the five senses and the emotional label, goes together in the brain forever.
Wow.
What happens in our life is that if this is very, very intense, if the emotional label is very, very intense, every time that we have an input from the environment that matches one of these signals, the emotional label is activated, which means I cannot wear blue dresses any longer. I cannot listen that music anymore. I hate the smell of mint, and I hate summer. And what was the last one? The candy. Okay, so we live our lives like this. We go around with all our traumas in the world. Sometimes we remember the event, sometimes we don't, but we know that we are allergic to broccoli, or we know that we hate the color blue. We know that we are afraid of altitude. Okay, it's all these are just triggers. We know that we hate people with glasses, maybe because my teacher at the kindergarten had glasses and she was very mean. Okay, so we walk the world like bombs without not even knowing why we have bad moods. They are all triggers, all emotions that are connected to experience from the past. We don't even remember what they are. But what we can do with PSYCH-K is to change the label to whatever it is into neutral. Neutral means whatever happens, it triggers neutral. Super. Okay, so this is one very powerful thing that we can do with PSYCH-K, when we do what we call the stress release balance, and that we learn at the workshop, this is really a life shift. This is really a life shift. I had clients who were scared of flying, and we resolved it without balance. I had people who were scared of, well, now I need a word in English. Sparadrap. No, this is maybe
Either or no?
French. No, this is French. It's not English. Is you know, the patch is when you have a wound and you put it on a patch. You put a tape on it.
Okay.
How is it in English? A tape? How is it in Romania? In Italian, it is cerotto.
Okay. In Romanian, it's plasture.
Voila, voila. Plastura. Sì, like in French.
Okay.
And I had one client who was scared of this. Can you imagine how often a people can have a plastura?
Yeah,
on his skin? So she was always very nervous because a part of her was very vigilant in monitoring this. Or people who are scared of animals, any kind. I mean, flies, butterflies, birds, spiders, dogs, cats. I mean, all this is just associations that we can remove. So there is a lot we can do with PSYCH-K.
Yeah, and not only remove that, but after we remove, it's like you said, it's like a space from where we can create and recreate ourselves and enjoy life and enjoy the experiences we have and enjoy playing with animals or being in nature or yeah, some other.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Thank you for this. Thank you. I want to add one thing, and I give you back the table. It's so true. We can do two things with PSYCH-K. We can erase, delete something which is dangerous, which is painful, which is which brings us fear and sorrow, and we can create new programs. So we can delete old and useless programs, and we can create new and useful programs and habits and beliefs. Thank you, Oana.
Thank you, Irene. And we have here one question, another question. It says like this: Hello, my name is Olga. I have a fear to drive the car. Sometimes I see in my mind some accidents in my imagination. My question is if I could drive safe in this life. Thank you a lot.
My answer is yes.
Yes,
yes.
My answer too.
Yes. I could tell you at least 15 or 20 people that I had as clients or as facilitators in class, and one of those is me. So yes, the answer is yes.
Okay, thank you, Olga.
Thank you, Olga.
I want to ask you if you have some other maybe examples of success in your life which you want to share.
In my life?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, let me see. Yeah, I have many. I mean, one of the best enemy in my life was myself. And it's not like this anymore. So this is the first example. I was really very, I was always criticizing myself. You haven't done it well, you haven't done enough, you could have done better. And now this inner voice stopped. And I can really celebrate my little step forward. So this is one huge stuff. And back to, let's say, daily life. Well, there are parts of my job that I don't like. I mean, like administration things and things like that, or packing and unpacking continuously. And originally it was a source of big stress. And I did some balances, and it's gone. I can enjoy making and dropping luggages and la la la. It was I did a lot of balances. I mean, in the last months, around all these experiences that we are all having in the world, and it's so beautiful to see how each individual in the world has his own unique experience around this. And I faced my fears. I faced for myself, for my family, for my kids, and I transformed all this through the balances. And now I'm just in peace and confident that everything will unfold at best in my reality. This is my reality, and each of us has his own reality, and when we can shape it gently, you know, as a sculpture, every day adjust it a bit here and there, and polish here. And you know, at the beginning with PSYCH-K, I really had a hammer to shape my life. I really destroyed all the setup. And now it is more joyful. It is more smoother. It's really to polish and to keep on improving. Just for the sake of beauty. Just for the sake of beauty. At the beginning, when I started, I had a lot of trouble and issues to resolve. You know, I was doing a job I didn't love anymore, and I was having a romance relationship I was not happy with. I had patterns with my relationships, with my romance. I had patterns, and now these patterns are broken. So I can have a balanced relationship in which I can be myself. I allow my partner to be himself. We are all free, and we are all tight together. Yeah. So it's really unbelievable, but we can really create our life experience as we want it.
Yes.
But the experience is inside, it's not outside.
Yes, Irene. Yes, it's so nice that you, when you talk, I feel like you are speaking about myself also. We have here another question from Christina, and she said, another Christina.
Okay, I was about to ask you, is it the same Christina? No,
No.
you answered. So
another one. And she said, I think you mentioned it already, but I will tell you the question if you want to add something. What was the big transformation you achieved?
The biggest?
The biggest, yeah.
Well, the biggest is what I said before is about the mindset, and is to be 100% aware, 100% conscious that whatever happens, I will be able to resolve it within myself. And this is the biggest mindset shift. The biggest behavioral shift, I have few examples. Well, the first one was when I quit my job. I worked in a space exploration company. I was the responsible of the interfaces between a Mars exploration vehicle and a group of scientists who were in charge to create scientific instruments, to develop the scientific instruments on this vehicle. And I worked internationally with NASA, with ESA, with many universities in the world. And believe it or not, I was not happy. And But the big shift was really to quit my job, because in my belief system being an employee was natural. I mean, my father and my mother were teachers. They loved their job, and but the family environment was just be an employee, do your job, try to have fun, get your salary, and enjoy your holidays in August, and this is the best you can have it. So the big leap for me was really to let go all this kind of security and just be and just jump in the wild, because I tell you, it was like jump in the wild. I had nightmares when I quit my job for months, and I already knew PSYCH-K, you know, and why I choose to quit my job. When I did it, I cried on the couch for 2 days. It's true. And on purpose, I said to myself, I don't want to balance. I don't want to use PSYCH-K. I don't want to use PSYCH-K, because if my goal is to share PSYCH-K with people, I want to know how it is suffering. Because I thought in my belief system, there was, you have to know what suffering is in order to help someone who is in pain. Mm-hmm. Believe me, it lasted 2 days. After 2 days crying on the couch, I said, no, come on, Irene, you know PSYCH-K. Sit and do some balances, okay? And stop this. Stop it. Stop it. And so I did some balances for a few hours, and it was gone. I mean, I stopped crying. It doesn't mean that everything was resolved. It doesn't mean that it didn't mean that I was a successful professional or entrepreneur. No, I was just zero, as I was zero before the balances. But my perception was hope. You will make it. If this is your life purpose, you will make it. No wonder. And so that was, and it was a huge shift. Because I've also learned that we don't need to suffer in order to help someone who is suffering. It's exactly the opposite. We have to be in peace and to be confident and to be reassuring and to encourage. So we have to have experience of beauty and love and in order to be of help. And what I say at the workshop is, first of all, use PSYCH-K with yourself, and tune your perception to the beauty, to the love, to the life, and then share it. Because when you are like this, you don't need to explain blah blah blah, neuroscience, blah blah blah. It's all true, but what people want is feel better. And if we can be testimonial of how we shifted, how we feel, and this is enough. How often have we heard, oh, if I only could be calm like you, if I only could be confident like you.
Yeah.
So what people are looking for examples, testimonials, and stories, and and so you are in you who are listening are looking for this, for testimonials that it is possible. It is possible to drive safe in this life, in this very life. Olga, was it Olga? I don't remember.
It was Olga, yeah. And we have also another question from Roxana, and she says, it is possible to use this technique with kids? How young? Thank you, Roxana.
Okay, thank you, Roxana. Yeah, so the answer is yes. Is yes. No matter how old are the kids. In the basic workshop, you will learn to do it with kids who are, let's say, reasonably, I would say at least 6, 7, 8 years old. But 6 is enough, 6 is enough. Because at the basic workshop, we learn how to do a process with interactive. So we need the kid to interact, okay? And this happens, let's say, from 6, 7 onward. There are other workshops. One of those is called Advanced Integration Workshop. And in that workshop, you will learn how to work at distance, so without interaction. And when we work without interaction, we can even work with people who are not interactive, like small kids, like old people, or like people who are based far away, okay? But before going there, we need to learn how to facilitate. This is what we call ourselves, facilitators. We need to learn to facilitate with interaction. First step. Okay, so at the basic workshop, you will learn everything that you need to know in order to facilitate with interaction with yourself and with others. With others means with friends, with people who are already, confident. Who are already at ease with you. It doesn't mean that you are a professional facilitator. It doesn't mean that you can open a studio, a bureau, and do it as a job, because it needs a slightly more competencies. There are workshops for this as well, if you want it. But at least for yourself and friends and family, you will be okay with the basic workshop.
Yes.
Okay? I hope I answered your question, Roxana.
Thank you, Irene. Maybe, I don't know if you want to say more about this basic workshop that will be in Bucharest in 25, 27 of June. Maybe, yeah, it's about a basic PSYCH-K workshop, and maybe you can tell us some input.
Okay, how it unfolds. Okay, so it's a 3 days experience. We will start Friday morning. I'm going to tell you a bit about the agenda. The goal is clear. You will be able to do everything about shifting your subconscious mind for yourself and friends and your dear ones. And you will have scripts to do that. So there are procedures. You just need to read them and do them. And so you will receive some packages with information about the theory and also the practice. The workshop is very, very, very much about experience. Experience means that each of you attending the workshop will facilitate with someone else, and of course be facilitated. So you will learn how to facilitate with others, and at the same time you will have the possibility to be facilitated, which means to shift within yourself already something that is your priority. So if you want to come to the workshop, maybe you want to start thinking about or taking notes about what you want to change in your life experience already, because you will do it in the workshop already. So the first morning is about theory. Okay, so creating the best environment and learning theory. Very little. I'm sorry for this, but we need at least to get an agreement on the words and on the main concept, like the brain, the mind, the belief system, blah, 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 blah. And, but by the end of the first morning, you will already do some practice, which is practicing the way to read into the subconscious mind. Reading, you remember I said before, we need 2 tools, read and write. So First morning, set the environment. Theory, reading. First afternoon, writing. Writing means two processes. There are two balances that you will learn in the basic workshop already the first day afternoon. The second day is all about you, your topics, your belief system. I mean, what do I want to integrate in my subconscious mind in order to have a better experience? So it's really about starting to what you are not happy with. So which experiences I'm not enjoying. I'm struggling in driving. I'm struggling with my husband. I'm struggling in arriving on time. I'm struggling with my boss. Okay, so starting from what you don't like, identify what your subconscious mind needs to integrate in order to shift the experience and integrate it. Okay, this is the second day. Third day is again about balancing, but not in order to add something new, but to delete something old that we are not, that we don't want to have anymore. You remember I said before, experiences, emotional label. Okay, so on the third day, we will learn how to neutralize the emotional label. Okay, so this is more or less is the agenda. We will start by doing experiences in pairs because it's easier for learning purposes. And on the second day afternoon, I will tell you, and you will learn because it's very easy, how to do everything
that is there to teach us how to tap
about what we want shortly.
Yeah. And you will learn.
Irene, can you hear me?
Yes, now I can. Before okay. There was the recording of few minutes before.
Yeah, I was checking the messages and I think it started.
Never mind. I was done more or less. And I mean, and there will be more on Sunday, on the third day, on the third day. But this is the outline. This is the main topics.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and I want to I have another question. Maybe we can also clear this. How long it takes to make a balance, maybe with yourself or with others?
Okay. So with myself and others, it takes almost the same time. It doesn't make a huge difference. And it is an average time is maybe 5 to 10 minutes. Okay, it depends because each of us is unique and each experience is unique and each belief system is unique. So one of the principles of PSYCH-K is really that we are unique. So there are average time and sometimes it takes 1 minute and sometimes it takes 20. But in average, just to give you an idea, 5 to 10 minutes, I would say it makes sense as beginners. Then it will shorten for sure. What do you think, Oana?
Yeah, I say the same. It's like for me, when I work with myself, sometimes maybe it takes 4 minutes, sometimes maybe 8 minutes, depends on what is the process.
Exactly.
At the moment. Yeah.
Yeah.
And okay. And we had, for example, a question from the, we have like 10, 15 minutes left. And I have some questions from the questioners.
Yes.
It's okay if I put them on, or?
It's okay for me. If it's okay for the people who are listening in, yes.
Okay, so one question it was how you can eliminate auto-sabotage.
Okay.
But I think you answered this question already. But
yeah, it's like eliminating means neutralize, and or integrate a new habit in order to behave differently. So sometimes we sabotage ourselves. I tell you how I sabotaged myself. I was not confident. I was afraid of the opinion of others. I was afraid of doing mistakes, of making mistakes. I doubted of every choices. Am I doing wrong or right? And this and that, and pros and cons, blah, 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 blah. Stuck. So it's if we observe ourselves without being judgmental, with benevolence, and this is really the first step, to laugh at my weirdness, to laugh at my weakness, and to use the weaknesses just to make a step forward. Sometimes when I have clients who are really kind of depressed in seeing how bad, how mean, how ineffective they are, I say, it is like when you are doing housekeeping in your house. You need to see where the dirty is in order to sweep it away. You have to see it. If you don't see it, you will not clean it. So don't worry. It's just like doing housekeeping. You see that the mirror is dirty, then you can clean it. If you don't see it, then it will remain dirty. So see the dirty is the first step to clean it.
Yeah.
And with PSYCH-K, we can really clean it in 5 to 8 minutes. So, I mean, each mirror, I don't mean all the house in 5 to 8 minutes, but each mirror, yes, in 5 to 8 minutes.
Yes, and how you said earlier, it lasts. It lasts for your lifetime.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and we had another question, and it says like this: it works for everyone.
Oh, that's a nice question. It's like everything else. I have a bad news. Nothing works for everyone. Not even the tablets, not even the tablets, not even the pills. So it's an interaction between ourselves and ourselves. So everything works if we allow it to work. So, and this is really what we will be doing in the first day of the workshop, to create at our subconscious level of the mind the belief system that allows PSYCH-K to work. I guess each of us had including me, had the experience to say to ourselves, no, this is crap. This will not work. This will not work. And when we have this thinking, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. So PSYCH-K works with everyone who allows it to work. And we will learn how to allow it to work on the first day of the workshop. First thing in the workshop is to create at our subconscious level the possibility for PSYCH-K to work. It's like when you throw a seed. If you throw it in the garden, it grows. If you throw it in the tarmac, in the road, it doesn't. It's not the seed that is guilty. is that it dropped in the wrong terrain, in the wrong soil. So first thing will be create the soil for PSYCH-K to grow and flourish in your life.
Yeah. Thank you, Irene. Okay, I have here some answers, some comments with thank you for answer, and another question if we will register this this webinar, and we register it, and it will be then on the Facebook page, and you can also watch it later. Okay, if you want to add something else, Irene, before we end, something maybe like a message for the people, or yeah, what it comes to you now, and you would like to live with the people so they can something that it's important to know about PSYCH-K, and that it really helps them if they know how to use it. I talked a lot.
I guess all of us read a lot of books, took a lot of workshops, had a lot of experiences in our life. And we are not as wise as all the books we read. We are not as wise as all the things, as all the workshops we took. We are not as wise as all the things that we know. Why? Because we know consciously, which means intellectually, I know I should be very patient with my kids because they are just kids, you know? But sometimes I freak out, okay? Why? Because I know consciously doesn't mean I behave accordingly. And this is very, very, very frustrating. Because when we don't know, we don't know. But when we know, we do it. Because there is an inner conflict between what I know and what I do, then it's really, really, really frustrating. And sometimes wisdom, or sometimes we doubt of even our right to live. You know, when I had a miscarriage, I was so frustrated that I doubt of my right. I doubted I deserved to live. So PSYCH-K connect the dots, so allows us to behave according to what we know is right. And it's really a complement to everything that we have learned and done until now, because there are so many things that we intellectually know, but we can't put it into practice. We can't turn it into behaviors. So whatever you know intellectually, if we make a balance, we can make it real. We can turn it into an action, a spontaneous action. And this means a lot of things. Lowers the frustration and increase the happiness. So I knew very many other methodologies before PSYCH-K. Now I most of the time only use PSYCH-K, because of course I am who I am, which means I know all the things that I know. I've read a lot, not all those books. This is my mother books library, so don't think I've read all that. No, not those in the background, but I've read a lot of books. I took a lot of workshops, but the main reason why I can apply them is because I integrate that information into my subconscious mind. Otherwise, very likely, they would have remained just intellectual understandings. Full stop. Not behavior, not daily life. So as a PSYCH-K instructor, but mainly as PSYCH-K facilitator, which means mainly for the benefits that I took personally, I would really recommend everyone who is ready for really a leap to learn PSYCH-K. And it will speed up your evolution in an incredible way. It's funny, I tell you on this piece of story. In the last, at the beginning of this year, we as instructors, we decided to do some interviews with the facilitators, because it's a short piece of interview, maybe 10 minutes, just to share the experience and to share with the world, because, well, if I tell you PSYCH-K works, yeah, sure, you are an instructor, it's your job, it's reasonable that you say it works. But if I interview a facilitator, he is just, neutral with respect to PSYCH-K. And what I would say what everyone said is, try it. If you don't try it, you can't have any idea of the power of PSYCH-K. Just try it. It's not dangerous. Try it and then decide. So it's really, try it. Try it.
Try it.
Try it. Try it. It's really new. PSYCH-K is really very much different. It's really something different. It's like at the beginning of internet. Okay, 30 years ago, 40 years ago, when I was at the university, internet was at the very, 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 very beginning. In order to send an email, I had to book 2 weeks in advance the laboratory to have access to a computer and write an email. You see? So email was kind of magic. Now it's daily life. So today, PSYCH-K is kind of magic, super speed, speed of light. But the future will be that everyone will be able to use its own full brain. It's mine. This is mine. I have the right to use it in full. Me. Without any other so-called expert, or even worse. If you don't use your brain, someone will shape it as he likes, not as you like. So it's really about, it's really a huge difference. I don't know if I answered your question, but I had a lot of fun in saying what I said.
Yes, you answered, and it was so great. So yeah, I agree. I totally agree with try it, and you will see how it works for you, and what it will bring in your life, and how fast it will bring, and how you will speed up your life. So yeah, I totally agree with you. So
maybe, Oana, you want to give some more information about the logistic of the workshop or something else? I guess we are done even with the questions. By the way, you who are listening, thank you for being interactive, and you have our contacts, Oana and mine. So feel free to contact us back if you need any other information. And I guess to close this beautiful webinar, at least it was beautiful for me. Maybe you have some extra news about the workshop and other things.
So in 25-27 June in Bucharest, we organize this first basic PSYCH-K workshop with Irene. Irene will be the instructor, your instructor, and I will be also there organizing things, and maybe if something will be needed or translated or something, I can help with this. And I want to tell you that we also have a deadline for subscribing, and this deadline is 10 June. So it would be helpful if you are determined to come to the PSYCH-K workshop and learn about PSYCH-K and bring PSYCH-K in your life. Then please write us until 10 of June so we can organize all the things. Yeah, we will spend 3 very, very magic days together. Okay, and another thing that I want to share with you. I also told you about a surprise when I told you about the webinar, and the surprise is that all the persons or the people who completed the questionnaire and subscribed for the webinar, they have an opportunity, a very good chance to taste PSYCH-K, and this is about some session that I facilitate, a short session, 30 minutes, and it's about stress relief transformation. Yeah, deleting. It's about deleting, yes. And so, for example, 1 hour and a half session, it's €100. But now, for this session, you can pay only €30, and you can get in touch with the PSYCH-K and to delete something that you don't want it in your life. So just write
like
me.
The fear.
Sorry?
Like the fear of driving.
Yeah, exactly. So this offer is available until the workshop, until 24th of June. So if you are interested, then just write me and we book a session, and we establish a date, and yeah, we do it, and you will see how it is, how it works for you. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Anna, for this gift. It's very, very precious, and you will experience how much we can do with just one balance. So, yeah, profitez-le. I don't know in English, but use it. Use it. It's a great gift. What you offered, really, really.
Thank you. It's yeah, an opening, so you can try it, as Irene says. Try it and see how it is for you, and then you will understand what you will understand, not just with the conscious mind, but with also the whole mind, what we were speaking about today. Yeah. So I want to thank you all, and to thank you, Irene, being here with me. And I wish you a nice evening to you all. And
I want to thank you, Oana, for organizing all this. And of course, you all listening and contributing to this evening. And I really wish you, I wish you a life even more beautiful than the one you have, and to figure out your journey. I mean, the best journey you can have in this life. There is a lot to discover, and it is all within ourselves.
yeah.
So thank you for being here. I hope to have the chance to meet you soon, and thank Oana for arranging all this. And take care, and good night.
Good night, and good night, and write us until 10 of June. And I will stop the recording now. Goodbye.